Yoon Jia was a 25-year-old TikToker, influencer, and streamer from South Korea. She showed her private daily life every day on social media, according to her videos, daily activities, and also people who knew her in real life. Jia was very hardworking. Everyone talked about her effort, hope, and motivation for life. Jia looked like Korean idols and actors. Koreans have their own beauty standards, and Jia's face matched those standards perfectly. She was taking acting classes, and it seemed that she wanted to become an actress. So one reason for her activity on social media was probably this future goal. She wanted to build a community, present herself online, and later have a fan base. This could help her enter the acting industry more easily. Jia spent about 6 hours a day on social media. Her audience felt very close to her, and Jia was very grateful for that feeling. She went live on TikTok every day. The last message between Jia and her father was on September 10, 2025. That day, Jia was very busy and didn't feel like answering her father's messages, so she ignored them. Then her father sent her a message and also sent childhood photos of Jia. Under the photos, he wrote, "The most beautiful bunny in the world." Jia replied to this message with only one word to her father: "Yes." Sadly, after these messages, Jia's family never got the chance to talk to her again. The next day, on September 11, 2025, Jia went out of her apartment to do a live stream. An area in Incheon. It has a sea view and a natural light, so it is a beautiful place for content creation. That day, Jia seemed fine. There was nothing in her behavior that made her fans worried. She was happy and cheerful, just like always. Her followers did not know that they were watching Jia live for the last time. Around 3 p.m., Jia ended her live stream, as usual. She thanked her followers and told them that she loved them. Her fans were very happy because they thought they would see her again the next day, but sadly, this was the last time. Jia was 25 years old and lived alone. That day, she was supposed to go to her parents' house for dinner or call them after the live stream. But when there was no news from Jia, her family quickly contacted the police and reported her missing. They knew that Jia had gone live, but it seemed that she disappeared right after it ended. She did not answer the phone or go to her parents' house. Not answering the calls might seem normal, but she worked on social media. After the live stream, there was no activity on her page at all. Because of this, her parent acted quickly and contacted the police. Fortunately, the police followed the report very quickly. They had many photos of Jia and knew exactly what she looked like. They even asked her fans for help because she had many followers. They hoped she would be found very quickly. The search did not last long. The police received a call from 2 hikers. They found a body of a woman at the bottom of a mountain in a natural area where people often hike. At first, they did not know that the woman was dead or alive. Her appearance did not clearly show whether she was injured or already dead. The police knew about the missing person case, but they thought the woman might be a hiker or a nature traveler who was injured. Maybe she had hit her head or something similar. So they decided to send a rescue team. When the rescue team arrived, sadly they realized that the woman was not unconscious and not injured from hiking. She had lost her life in another way. There was clear signs of injury on her body. She had been assaulted before death. There were severe bruises on her face, hands, and her body. The final diagnosis showed that she had experienced a very painful death. That woman was Jia. The police were certain that the crime did not happen there. She was killed in another place, and the body was brought to that location. Jia's identity was identified very quickly because her body had not decomposed. The autopsy showed that she was killed exactly 30 minutes after she ended her live stream. The main questions for police were who killed Jia and why. The police started their investigation. They could rewatch Jia's live stream and check if there was anything suspicious. Also, South Korea is full of CCTV cameras. Using these cameras, they could track exactly where Jia went. what she did, and where she was after her live stream. Because Jia had gone live only 30 minutes before her death, the police knew exactly which camera they needed to check. For this reason, the case was solved very quickly and became one of the fastest murder cases. While checking the CCTV footage, they saw this. Near the area where Jia did her live stream, she was talking to an older man. This conversation did not look normal. It seemed like an argument. It also looked like they knew each other from before. After this conversation, Jia went back to her apartment, according to the cameras. The place where Jia did her live stream was very close to her apartment. When Jia was waiting for the elevator in the ground floor lobby of her building, the same man suddenly appeared. As soon as Jia saw him, she stepped back a few steps. This showed that she was stressed and afraid of him. The police expected a fight to start at that moment, but instead, the man suddenly knelt down in front of Jia. The man was much older than Jia. Jia was 25 years old, and the man was at least 50 years old. It looked like the man was on his knee, begging to fix something between them. From Jia's body language, it seemed that she was pulling back. She was trying to stop him and say no. She was insisting that he stand up. The man stood up and tried to take Jia's phone from her. This is where that something that should never have happened. They started to struggle. From this point on, the police did not release the CCTV videos, but it seemed that the man dragged Jia out of the building by force and put her into a car. There are still no clear source saying whether the car belonged to Jia or to the man. When Jia was forced into the car, it was 3:27 p.m. Jia ended her live stream at 3 p.m. Based on what we know, Jia died about 30 minutes after her live stream ended. So the police were certain that this man was Jia's killer. After further investigation, the police found out that this man had an online identity on TikTok. People online knew him by the username Black Cat. All of Jia's fans knew Black Cat. He was always present in Jia's comments and live streams and often sent her heart emojis. It was clear that he was very obsessed with Jia. In the world of streamers, there are some people who like to donate very large amount of money to their favorite streamers. Sometimes this allows them to talk to the streamer. Sometimes they may think that because they donate a lot of money, they can become very close to that person. This is how Black Cat connected to Jia. Because Black Cat donated so much money, he became one of Jia's favorite viewers. Black Cat was someone who gave Jia a lot of money and was present in all of her live streams. Black Cat was very supportive. He encouraged Jia and recognized her talents. This was exactly what Jia wanted, to be recognized. She hoped that her talent would be discovered through her live streams. Black Cat was ranked number 46 among Jia's donors. This means he donated about $70,000 to her. The streamers were somewhat familiar with Black Cat. He did not donate money only to Jia. In fact, he supported many streamers. Some streamers even gave Black Cat their personal IDs because he was truly one of the most supportive donors. They were also curious to know who Black Cat really was and where he got so much money from. Some streamers even asked him, "Where do you get all this money from?" He introduced himself like this: "I did not want you to know, but my name is Mr. Cho. I am a very successful CEO. I own an IT company, and I also work with airline companies. I want to start a company for influencers because I understand social media and how to grow in this space. I support streamers. In reality, I am investing in them." The conditions Black Cat set for streamers to sign a contract were like this: he would share all the methods and strategies he knew to help them grow faster. In return, he would sign a contract and take 20% of the money earned from each live stream. Up to this point, this contract seemed completely reasonable. Jia accepted these conditions and signed the contract. Many people who later reviewed this case said that Black Cat, a 54-year-old man, was Jia's sugar daddy. However, Jia's friends and family denied that. Jia's family did not even know that Black Cat was her manager. What they never imagined was that after some time, Black Cat officially turned into a toxic boyfriend for Jia. Jia was forced to share her location with Black Cat at all the time. This way, Black Cat always knew that where Jia was and what she was doing. Jia was also forced to go live every day at a specific time. Each live streams had to be exactly 6 hours long. Black Cat told Jia that this method would help her grow faster. Before Black Cat entered her life, Jia could go live whenever she wanted. But after Black Cat became part of her life, he decided what Jia should post, what she should not post, and what time she should be active. He was present in all of Jia's live streams. He took notes and blamed Jia for anything that happened in the live stream that he did not like. He said things like, "When you sing, don't look at the camera. Your voice sounds bad. You look bad. Why do you only pay attention to one person in the live?" Before this, he used to praise Jia. Now he had started to break her down. Most likely he was doing this to make Jia more dependent on him. He wanted her to think that he knew how to make her better and that she could not continue without him. One day, Jia went out with her friends. Because it was her personal time, she turned off her location. Her friends saw that someone was constantly calling and texting her, saying, "Turn your location on." At that moment, Jia's friends realized that Jia was in trouble. Jia replied to Black Cat and told him that she was with her friends and had no reason to turn her location on. But Black Cat turned the situation in his favor by blaming her again. He said things like, "You don't trust me. I only want what is best for you. After all the money I gave you, you treat me very badly." In late 2025, Jia talked about this situation with her friends and expressed how unhappy she was in her relationship with Black Cat. After some time, Jia decided to tell Black Cat that she no longer wanted him to be her manager. Now we come to this important question. Was Mr. Cho really a successful and rich businessman who worked with many companies? No, Mr. Cho was a 54-year-old man who was not rich at all. He was in debt to the bank. He had many creditors chasing him. He had not paid his rent for some time, and his house was about to be taken from him. He had even borrowed the initial money for the house from his father. Even at the age of 54, he still could not pay his own rent. He was most likely someone who gambled and wasted his money. His house was supposed to be taken from him. On September 11, the exact same day he killed Jia. In reality, he had no one in his real life, so he decided to get the attention he needed from social media. He believed that by investing in Jia, he could bring his lost life back. So when Jia cut off her relationship with him, he went after her. Because he had access to Jia's location, he knew many details about Jia's home and her daily life in a way that Jia had no safe place. So he easily went to her. As explained before, first he begged and knelt in front of Jia, asking for another chance. But after Jia rejected him, he turned to violence. He dragged Jia to the car by force. He attacked her and injured her. In the end, he strangled her with his hands. He hid Jia's body in a suitcase that he had brought with him. Then he threw her body into the mountains. At this point, he also put himself into serious trouble while returning. Before he got far from Jia's body, his car got stuck in a pit. The police most likely arrested Black Cat right there. This is why the killer was found very quickly in this case. This means that Black Cat could not even escape and return to the house that was about to be taken from him. When he was arrested, at first he denied everything, but because the police had a lot of evidence and there were 8 witnesses who said that they saw Black Cat and Jia together that day, he was forced to confess. The police checked Black Cat's past records. They found out that exactly 1 year earlier, he had also had a physical fight with another female streamer. In that case, the woman managed to escape and filed a complaint against him. While that previous case was still going through the court system, Black Cat committed this crime against Jia. Now that he has been arrested, there are reports saying that he may receive a life sentence. However, because this case happened recently, the court has not announced the final verdict yet. Many people in Korea are very upset. They blame the police. They believe that if this man had been put in prison the first time he did something like this, Jia would still be alive today. Thanks for watching. It's Itsravex, and I will see you in the next episode.